Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk about the Bitcoin MYK Curators program. If you use the Steem blockchain, or if you've used sites similar to steemit.com, where there's this type of upvoting systems where content is posted and people can earn on their content, then you're probably familiar with the term curator, right? And how people go out and how they give value to this content and how they earn something back in return for it. So we created a system of curators, and we've opened up now this task that people can perform. Pretty much anybody can do it, and we're going to tell some of what we're looking for here. But it basically gives you our tokens to go out and give these tokens to people with valuable content based on community votes. And so we're going to explain that here. Where we've chosen to put the task is here on our new platform. It's reminiscent of Fiverr. Anybody can post tasks or jobs to it. It is 100% free right now, and it's always going to be free towards the workers of these tasks, or the task performers, right? But there probably will come a time where the people who post the jobs, they will have to use the Bitcoin MYK token. It will be free to them, but they will have to pay for the task in the Bitcoin MYK token. So it'll be free for everybody. It's just that you will have to hold Bitcoin MYK tokens. And at this point, we're not making people do it, but that might change in the future. So let's take a look at what the job's asking for here on our Fiverr-like service. And we're going to hit, there it is, Bitcoin MYK Curators. Okay, we're here. So the Bitcoin MYK Curators is looking for curators. The curators are given tokens to match quality post votes with the Bitcoin MYK token. This works simply by taking the accumulation of Steem votes per post and sending them to the equivalent in Bitcoin MYK tokens. For example, post A has 18 votes. Curators will simply send, in this example, 18 Bitcoin MYK tokens to the Steem account with the votes that are registered on our platform, right? Curators earn 20% of all distributed tokens. Curators who do great and curate effectively and efficiently get voted on by the community and further rewarded for their services. Up to 10,000 tokens based on their performance. If you're interested in curating for Bitcoin MYK, contact system admin via chat, and there's an apply for the job button. And oops, didn't mean to hit that. Okay, so we're over on the steemit.com site right now, and this is just explaining how the curation process works. But to kind of wrap up what was happening on the site, and basically what a lot of the things we were looking for in a job, and how it worked exactly, was that basically the system is we're trying to integrate our token value into systems that are set up and similar to our own, right? And so the way it works is that, for instance, if you're looking at a post like here, the block trades post, you can see here that it has 403 votes. So in a situation like this, if you were to curate this post, at this point in time, they will receive 403 Bitcoin MYK tokens, because it's pegged at a vote per token, right? And that ratio can change, but that's what it's going to start off as. Now, a curator would basically locate Steem users. This means people, you have to have a Steem account in order to have your post curated, right? So there's a few things they'll be looking for. They'll be looking for people who are registered to our to the Bitcoin MYK platform. So not only do you have to hold a Steem account, you have to be registered with our site. Once you're registered with our site, no personal information is required. You can use a phony email. You can use basically a fake username. We only need to identify as a unique person and link it to your Steem account. That way, then we know that you're a unique person, and that you're registered with our platform. Now, what happens next is the curator, his job will be to locate a variety of posts that Steemians have done, and in this case, where it's 403 upvotes, then they would award 403 Bitcoin MYK tokens. Now, because they get 20% of all the tokens they give out, this is basically how they're compensated. Then they would make something like 80 plus tokens on this on curating this post, right? Um, and then what happens next is they just kind of leave a reply on the post that they curated the post, that the person can come pick up their Bitcoin MYK tokens, um, and it'll be as simple as that. Now, it won't just be limited to Steemit.com, but all the Steemit apps that have an upvote system that use the proof of brain algorithm. So that's a lot of applications across the Steem blockchain, and they'll be able to just go along and do that. Now, what it does is it democratizes the vote system, right? It's meant to integrate with the Steem blockchain, and get a lot more involvement with the users of the platform, and especially for those who get a lot of upvotes but just don't seem to make a lot of money, or get a lot of value. This will kind of balance it out a bit. So it's very experimental, and it's a way for us to see how well democracy works on the Steem blockchain. Now, there are a few things you have to be aware of, and that is the Steem blockchain uses a lot of bid bots. So some of these numbers we see in these upvotes, where some of them may be real, some of them may be not be. So what you want to be careful is not to curate bid bot posts, because the more bid bot posts get curated, the less value people get to, or distribution gets to go out amongst other registered users who need to gain some value for their posts as well, right? So this is hopefully going to make the experience better on the Steem blockchain. At least that's what we're going for. Like a post like this very interesting piece of artwork here, done by Hidden Blade. Looks quite interesting. 180 votes, right? And so they would receive 180 tokens. Now, as well, again, some of these posts come from bid-bot services, and we will teach you how to avoid those. And if you do a good job with the curation process, we do have rewards that go out. And the way it works is it kind of works similar to Steem Witnesses. With Steem Witnesses, they basically get voted on. It's a democratic process, and we elect Steem Witnesses. We do a certain thing or a similar thing with our Bitcoin MYK curators. Ever so many registered users, we have basically elections. And the people who get the most votes, they become our top curators. And top curators can earn or get prizes up to 10,000 Bitcoin MYK tokens. So there's a lot of tokens, right, depending on how well a job they do. And it kind of works similar to the Steem Witness program, in that they're also based on your performance. You're going kind of higher or lower up the scale. And so if you're not doing a good job curating, not just curating on the posts that get a lot of votes, but just, a lot of people who you out there working hard, not getting a lot of votes on their posts. Those are people who will vote for you in the elections coming up, and they can help you to earn a lot more Bitcoin MYK tokens. So we think we're moving in the right direction with this. We think it's going to create a great deal better user experience for some Steemians who work pretty hard. As you can see, these Steemians are doing pretty well. They're on the trending page is where we're at now, looks like. But there are, if they're not using bid bots, bid bots have been a big problem with Steem. And that basically means they can basically purchase votes. And these aren't eligible for our curation process. We're only going to be curating posts that do not use bid bots, right? So this is just kind of a rough run through of how it works. Once you apply and you contact us, we're going to give you more details about how it works. Now, of course, how our program works and integrating into many of these Steem applications, curators are going to be trusted with a great amount of tokens. And so what that means is that we're going to be looking for certain people in order to trust with our tokens. Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't have a high rep score, if you don't have big followings, or you're not online a lot, that you won't be able to be a curator. But it will impact how many tokens we entrust you with in the beginning. So if you're a person who has a big social media following, you have a good Steam rep score, and you're online quite a bit, and you've been active in the community, we're probably gonna start you off with a good amount of tokens just to test you out first, see how well you do. And when you return, if you've done quite well throughout the process, we're going to give you more and more tokens to distribute out, because it's going to be very important that you're an active member of the community. If you're a person who's busy a lot, or you're not using the Steem blockchain a lot, it's not going to be something that's going to probably work well for you. And when elections come up, you're probably not going to be voted on by many people. And so those are going to be things that need to be considered. If you want to be a Bitcoin MYK curator, right? But I think you're all going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to be a way to keep you active in the community, a way to reward people who do work hard on their posts, and they might get a lot of votes, but the votes, because it's a stake weighted system, they may not get an entire lot of votes. The other thing is, even though we're on steemit.com, remember this works on all the Steemit applications. Excuse me again, guys. Works on all the Steemit applications, not just the Steemit .com site, but all of them that have the voting system and rewards pooled into it. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure and contact us. But we think you're gonna like this a lot, especially if you're on Steemit but not a lot's going on for you, and you want something to do. We got that task for you. But if you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.